are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Podcast, episode 140 of the College Loop Podcast. I'm Larck, @140 on Twitter/X, and I'm here joined today with Mr. Harrison Tarr. Tarr, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I think I'm trying to defeat some hiccup allegations right now. So I'm sipping on a Coca-Cola here, not sponsored, but would love to be. That would be the best lifetime supply for me ever. Fighting some hiccups, but good to be hanging out here on the College Loop, and really pumped to be back on the show. Sorry I wasn't on the live stream. Spent the weekend in Atlanta with a bunch of Auburn folk, a bunch of Auburn buddies. It was good to connect and see all the friends from the boys from college and root on the Tigers on Saturday. Ton of fun to see so many members of the Auburn family on Saturday. Great turnout. It was like probably 60-40 IU to Auburn, and I know that people were kind of up in arms, but like IU travels really well. They're a national brand, and I was talking to some friends, like IU, pretty damn good school. A lot of folks wind up with white collar jobs in Atlanta, so I wasn't super surprised there was a bunch of IU people, and they're a huge national brand. They've been notably above average for the past 20 years. So that was super fun, but good to see such an fun Auburn turnout, and see so many people. Hate that I saw a couple loopers, saw a couple people and waved, but beyond that, hate I didn't get to connect as much as I could, but I didn't put out the tweet. I was hanging out with the boys, you know what I mean? So it was a good weekend. And then Saturday, I got to watch the Falcons alongside fans of all three other NFC South teams. That was wild.
What team was not there? Was there not a Saints fan there?
No. They were all. I was saying.
Oh yeah,
fans of all the three others. So yeah, we had Falcons fans, we had Bucks fans, we had Daniel Locke as a Saints fan, and then Jacob Hillman, friend of the program, as Panthers fan.
We share our pain.
That's right. Yeah, you guys do share your pain and agony, but it was a ton of fun. The production at Mercedes-Benz is top tier, and I got to see a WWE wrestler spear a Bucks fan on the field. It was awesome.
I did see that. That was who? Not Hulk Hogan. Oh crap!
Walmart brand Hulk Hogan. I don't know. I don't watch WWE like that.
I'm trying to remember. Was it Goldberg?
Maybe. I don't know. No, I don't think so, because this guy played for the Falcons for 2 years.
That could have been Goldberg still.
Who's to say? I don't know.
But of course, also did not say this on the live stream. Thank y'all for 700 subscribers. We've officially hit that. Colin got to enjoy a nice meal for the first time since we hit 600. But with that, and some great Auburn news that has come up yesterday today as we're recording, yesterday as this show comes out, Keionte Scott has officially announced that he will be returning to the Auburn Tigers in 2024. Huge factor of this Auburn defense that played so well over this past season. One of the bright spots on this team was Keionte Scott. He had 32 tackles on the year, 32 solo, 39 total, 4 pass deflections, no turnovers on the year, but he did have an awesome punt return touchdown. And I think it was Auburn's first punt return touchdown since 2019.
19, yeah. And how about his announcement video? I just saw the tag and it said "Dear Auburn," and I was like, "Oh damn, that stinks." And then I go and tab into the video, and it was like, thankfully he didn't make it like one of those 2.5 minute, like you're sitting there like, now I'm kind of emotional. He was just like, "We got unfinished business. Let's run it back." I was like, "I love this. This is hype." I was also perfectly ready to be like, as soon as I opened it up, I was like mentally thinking about what we were going to talk about on the loop tonight. I was like, can't wait to be like, "Keionte, you're a dog. Good luck in the league." And then he's like, "We're running it back." And I was like, never mind. That's postponed until next year.
Yeah, for a position of a position group that Auburn is going to be lacking at experience-wise, as you know, Jalen Simpson accepted his invite to the Senior Bowl, so he is gone. He also doesn't have any eligibility left, I believe. DJ accepted his invite as well. He is gone, and Nehemiah as well.
Speaking of Auburn Senior Bowl alum, I'm going to pull this is just a random name out of the thin air, but I don't know if anybody saw KJ Britt spear Desmond Ridder on Sunday, but hello. That was sick. Everyone around me was miserable, but that was dope. And Jacob Hillman and I both yelled, "That's a big hit for Auburn." Anyways.
Well, Auburn in the NFL segment, vote Derek Brown to the Pro Bowl, please.
Truth.
Give me something, please. If you want to do it for Derek, do it for me. Just do it like that. But yeah, Keionte Scott returning, and it is just a huge pickup for this 2024 season. One of your best methods for improving from year in and year out is trying to maintain those great players who can only get better over an off season.
And great locker room guys.
Great locker room guy is Keionte Scott. He's going to be a leader on the team. Expect him to see. He's going to have a nice little C on his.
He will be. Sure.
Vocal leader on the field, off the field. It does not get any. It rarely gets any better than Keionte Scott. Very rarely. But yeah, huge. Got a good old Zero back.
Yeah, good to get Zero back, and also pick up the commitment of a JUCO offensive lineman. I mean, all kinds of roster talk today for Auburn, as it will be for the next few weeks, and really the coming month. But
next 8 days.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about Seth Wilford for a second here. Dylan, tell me about this JUCO transfer.
Yeah, JUCO guy out of Snow College, which, fun fact, last time Auburn picked up a player from Snow College, it was Keionte Scott. Seth Wilford, 6'6", 295-pounder. He's got 3 years of eligibility. And I think I read it. I think Clemente said it. It was just the weirdest way I've ever heard anybody read something about eligibility. He has 4 years to play 3 years. That was how it was worded. He's got 4 years to use up 3 years of eligibility.
Okay.
That's how it was worded. I don't know how that works. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So yeah,
3 years of eligibility. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he can play for 3 years. I mean, yeah, big-bodied guy. Haven't seen a lot of film on him. It's kind of those JUCO guys. It's really hard to get film on them. It took me forever to find Champ Anthony's. It's going to be even harder to find offensive linemen. But 6'6", 295, dude's big, and
beefing up the line.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be up the offensive line. Apparently, what I read was he started playing football late in high school, like very late. And that's what led him to the JUCO route. But once teams started seeing him, he got like offers right away. And it's going to be a huge pickup. Jake Thornton loves him. Seth Wilford loves Auburn, from what I've been reading. Huge pickup for a position group that definitely needs a reboot. And you're going to get that right away with your I guess this would count for the recruiting class, right?
Yes.
This
would count for your transfer class.
Would it?
Yes, absolutely.
Because Xavier Miller was
because he's already used a year of eligibility. This will be your JUCO. This JUCO transfers in large. Sometimes there's exceptions, but this will count toward your transfer class.
Okay. So what would now be Auburn's second offensive line pickup of the offseason, or of the recruiting cycle, high school and transfer portal class. Still hoping to get a couple more of those, one being Cohen Eccles. Would love to pick him up in 8 days. But yeah, huge pickup for Auburn. Get another player back-to-back day, or I guess 3 days in a row. Auburn picked up a player because you got Dylan Gentry on Sunday, Seth Wilford on Monday, and I'm trying to remember, and Robert Lewis, I believe, also on Sunday. So back 2 days in a row, you get 3 players. That's good. That's some good math. And of the same wavelength, you gain a player, but you also lose a player. And freshman defensive end Wilkie Denard, as he's entered his name into the NCAA transfer portal, Auburn's 8th player to enter the portal. But I still stand by you. Auburn's not lost a important piece to their future yet.
Right.
I don't think he even saw the field. If he did, it was probably one of those
garbage
time games. I don't believe he racked up any particular stats, and I'm gonna try to fact check myself on that. No stats per ESPN. He was a 3-star, high 3-star player coming out of high school. One of the big pickups of that big class that Hugh Freeze was able to turn around in just a couple of months. I wish him the best of luck. I just don't with Jamonta Waller and a potential LJ McCray coming in, it was going to be kind of hard for him to battle up, getting reps alongside those two, and then of course Keldrick Bach. So again, best of luck. I hope he enjoys his future endeavors in college football. Sadly, he will not be continuing along with Auburn.
Right, and I mean, as it all, this is just kind of circle of life, right? Like guys in, guys out. You're going to lose guys in every cycle. And just some people, this is one of those conversations that Hugh Freeze and staff may have sat down and said, there's just not a route to play here. And that happens. So be it. On another positive spin note, Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson going to be in Auburn for the Auburn USC game. So there's more important cargo than Bronny James there, just so everybody knows. They're just like me.
Some might even say more important cargo than Bronny James.
Yeah. I will certainly be there. I am going to join the hype beast list, and I am extremely excited to see LeBron James kid play basketball. I'm sorry, it is objectively really cool. So I'm excited. Maybe I can say I'm just like Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson. I just can't catch the football. Other than that, we're like the same people. You know what I mean? Like we're both former and current, I guess former and future attendees of Auburn. Same thing, right? Same energy. So let's talk a little bit about the quarterback room real quick, about the big board. Dylan, I heard some weird stuff this weekend, and I had some conversations with some people. Folks, I don't think Auburn's getting Grayson McCall anymore. I don't know that I think that I may have just tried to start this whole narrative. I think I say I did. A lot of people kind of thought that Auburn would be a shoe in there, but I've heard some interesting smoke about Cam Ward, Dylan.
Yeah, Cam Ward has definitely been the guy we've heard about a lot. Me and Colin talked about this a lot in the live stream. Because going through our big board, what it's looking like, I'm trying to remember who exactly Tyler Van Dyke was talking to, but it wasn't Auburn. Will Howard, who we have on our big board, is not a USC lock, but he's definitely a USC lean. Max Johnson's still on this board, but he's a UNC commit all the way. Will Rogers is going to Washington. Not heard word about Nate Johnson. I think we can go ahead and take Nate Johnson off the big board because he doesn't really fit alongside the rest of this list. Grayson McCall, I've heard UCF. A lot of UCF.
Yeah.
A lot of UCF. Gus Malzahn trying very hard to rekindle that Jarrett instead of magic in Orlando. Riley Leonard, Notre Dame. KJ Jefferson, have not heard a word about KJ Jefferson. And Kyle McCord also on this list, who I believe is a package deal with one of the biggest busts in Ohio State recruiting history, Julian Fleming, going to Nebraska potentially. But Cam Ward has been a guy who has been talked about as a potential Auburn target, or as a Auburn target. Apparently, it's like it might be a bidding war between the four schools he's looking at, and USC, Miami, Florida State, and Auburn. I don't think about it more. I don't understand why USC would do it with Malachi Nelson right there.
Yeah, and not a given their quarterbacks leaving town after this year. We don't. I will not believe about Caleb Williams until the combine starts.
So he's not playing in the bowl game, I believe. I believe that's already been.
Yeah, he's not playing in the bowl game, but I guarantee you, if the Chicago Bears won it with the first overall pick some way somehow this year, which they've tried to play themselves out of, I think he's going to reconsider. I don't know that. I'm not going to say I'm crystal balling that he's going to return to USC next year, but I don't think he wants to be a Chicago Bear even a little bit. This could be some Eli Manning shit.
I think that'd be a smarter idea than staying at USC for their year.
Sure,
I would rather just get annoyed by who's drafted me and try to trade, because I've not heard a lot of good things from people about what they think about their Caleb Williams thoughts, based on how his attitude has been towards his team's performance this last season.
Right.
Definitely didn't come off as a team oriented guy in press conferences, but Cam Ward, the only team I'm really looking at as a potential threat to Auburn not getting Cam Ward is probably the Florida State and Miami wagons.
It's gonna wind. Let's just be honest. Who's gonna reach deeper into their NIL bag?
Yeah, I've heard 2 million is what I've been hearing. People saying I heard 2 million, I heard 1 million. I don't want to get into a bidding war with SoCal and Miami.
Right.
At the end of the day, it should just come down to who gives you a better chance to compete and play. And honestly, with USC going to the Big Ten, I don't see them doing any better than they did last year. Miami, I think Miami can be good next year. They just need a guy like Cam Ward. Florida State, just needs a guy like Cam Ward, and Auburn just needs a guy like Cam Ward. So if I as a competitive oriented person, Auburn, Florida State, Miami. Money oriented, Auburn, Miami, and USC.
Yeah,
I would say, because Florida State's like on our level of money, right? They're not down.
I would think that their bag is similar to that of Auburn, but I would not think it's as deep.
Yeah, but Cam Ward, immediate impact player right there for Auburn.
Yeah, Kyle McCord's still floating around. I don't know where the hell he's going to wind up.
I've heard Nebraska.
That would track pretty hard. And then Dylan Gabriel shocked the world and committed to Oregon, which does make an interesting prospect available if someone's willing to go and take a chance on a guy out of Oregon. I don't even want to mention the name because I don't want to put it in the Auburn sphere. That feels like
Ty Thompson.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I don't. I was going to not mention Ty Thompson. I was just going to kind of allude to him because I don't know that as from an Auburn perspective that this program's in the right spot to go get a guy that's not really proven yet. I don't think now's the time for a prospect transfer, if you will. I think that if this was 2 years down the road, I would be all in the camp of you assume you have your established guy, maybe heading out, and you are in a place where your coach can develop quarterbacks. I don't think that Auburn's at that spot right now, and then Ty Thompson would be weird. I also just don't see any connection there, but also at the same time, just where both parties are right now, he's looking for somewhere that he can go play now, and he should. I think he's well competent and very much a Power 5 caliber player. Auburn, I just don't think is the soft landing spot for a guy like that right now. That kind of screams, how do I get off my feet the same way Bo Nix got off his feet in terms of right now they need an established guy. They don't need a prospect.
Yeah, especially if you look at the fact that, Auburn's 2 years out from getting a Oregon backup to transfer in, and Robbie Ashford. And if you're a guy like Ty Thompson, who just you got there at the end of, I believe who was there a guy between Herbert and Nix?
No,
Anthony Brown. Was it not Anthony Brown?
Anthony Brown, maybe. Yeah, you're right.
The bridge quarterback between Herbert and
for one season.
Yeah. Ty Thompson came in, was a backup behind Anthony Brown because he was a true freshman. Went into that offseason thinking he had the job. In walks Bo Nix, who immediately got the job and had it and kept it for 2 years. Now you're looking for a place that wants to play you, knows what you can do. And if Auburn were to get him, is it any much of an improvement from Peyton Thorne?
Probably, but at the same time, I'm talking about skill set wise. At the same time, I'm going to die on the hill that now's not the time for trial and error.
Yes.
That would be, people are going to hate this. If he wanted to come to the SEC, like Ole Miss would make a lot of sense in terms of Jackson Dart will be back next year,
and so will what's his name? Their third stringer. They also picked up in the transfer portal.
Oh yeah,
not Spencer Sanders.
Yeah, he's
the LSU guy.
Oh.
Walker Howard.
Yeah, you're right. LSU. Anyways,
Garrett Nussmeier is also there, so
wouldn't be the first time he's lost a job to a transfer.
Vanderbilt. AJ Swan's in the portal. Ken Sills is in the portal.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, Mississippi State's looking for a quarterback.
Did they not just get one? They picked up a Boise State guy, did they not?
They did.
Or was it Arkansas?
Yeah.
They both picked up mid. I don't want to say mid, but
G5.
G5 level quarterbacks. Mid G5 quarterbacks got an upgrade to mid level SEC schools.
We'll keep a pulse on it. We'll keep monitoring who's in and out. And like Dylan said, got 8 days of true crazy. And then the portal has next to no rules. So who's to say that we won't hear more insanity after that? Because there's no such thing as rules in college football anymore. Yeah. That's not me making an accusation. It's just me stating a fact.
Yeah, don't worry. 8 days. Make sure you have your post notifications on for the College Sloop. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of those. Because, oh boy, that is going to be a fun time for me.
Let's get weird.
That's going to be on the 20th. So, we got to record an episode that night too.
Sure do.
Ahead of also the 22nd is the year anniversary of the College Loop. Just going to put it out there.
I know. 1 year of the grind, if you will. All right, let's do a couple ad reads real quick, and then roll over into Auburn basketball. So, if you're listening to the College Loop and you are a avid supporter of the Loop, one of the Loopers, if you will, and you want to pick up your very own College Loop War Report Podcast Network co-branded t-shirt, you can head over to thewarreport.com, pick up your very own. It comes in 5 different colorways, available for $25. You can pick that up in the link in the description on the YouTube stream. If you're not watching the YouTube stream, no big deal. It's in the description for any of our shows on whatever streaming platform makes you happy. We certainly appreciate you guys' ongoing support. Pick up your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt. Use hashtag Feelin' Loopy without a G. Hashtag Feelin' Loopy on whatever social media platform makes you feel the happiest, whichever one you prefer, whatever platform you like the best, and tag us in it. We'll make sure we throw it up in the stream in the next show. So thank you so much for that. Also, if you want to continue to support the College Loop podcast, this way is absolutely free. Make sure you hit subscribe, like the video, ring the bell, and hit subscribe right here on the YouTube channel. We're at 700 subs because you guys are the best. You're absolute dogs. Loopers are the best listeners in the world, unequivocally. Make sure you drop a comment in the comment section. Give us your feedback on the ongoing quarterback portal transfer situation. How excited you guys are for National Signing Day. I know a lot of you guys are like us, ready to get these guys inked so you can stop sweating about any of it, because flipness can work both ways. I know that I'm not naive to that, but make sure you give us all your feedback there. Drop in the comments. I can't tell you how much it does to the algorithm, and also hitting the subscribe button doesn't cost you a dime. If you ring the bell, it'll keep you up to date with everything we have going on right here at the College Loop Podcast. If you're not listening on the YouTube stream, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us anyways. Thank you guys for listening on the streaming services and the non-video podcast. You guys rock. I don't think you guys get enough love, so I want to make sure you guys know we do sincerely appreciate you guys. Just give us 5 stars, thumbs up, whatever the highest rating is that you can get on that streaming platform of choice, whatever it is that makes you guys happy, and share the show with a friend, whether that be on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, whatever the rest, Google Podcasts, the whole 9 yards. So that being said, Dylan, let's talk Auburn basketball right here on the College Loop podcast. Auburn coming off an absolutely emphatic victory over the Indiana Hoosiers, which I asked Hoosier fans all weekend, what is a Hoosier? And every single one of them gave me the same answer. I don't know. So that was super fun. I did some market field research for you guys, had no answer. Not my fault, man. I don't know what the hell a Hoosier is, neither do they. So
I think it's
literally someone from the state of Indiana.
Yeah. We're now the Auburns.
That's right. Yeah. The Auburn. Actually, no, that's not true. We're the University of Auburn War Eagles. That's
right. I forgot.
Can't get away from those allegations, no matter how hard you try. All right, let's take a look at Auburn's upcoming opponent this week in UNC Asheville, and take a look at. I just tabbed away from it because I'm what you call an idiot. And here we go. And take a look at what the UNC Asheville Bulldogs have to offer. One of 3 Bulldog opponents that Auburn will play this year, to my knowledge. Maybe 4. I think 3. 3 Bulldog opponents that Auburn will play this year. And it starts with Drew Pember, their forward. He's played in 9 of their 10 games to this point, averaging 24 minutes a game, 18.1. But this group goes down. So if you look at that backcourt, you've got Fletcher Abbey and Josh Banks, both with I played every game. There's only one player here in this normal rotation that's not seen at the court every single game in Pember. But let's talk about Abbey and Banks real quick, both averaging just north of 27 minutes a game and both averaging over 12 points a game. Banks with 12-3 and Abbey with 13-3. Guard play is going to be key again. That's not new. That's not, I guess, something that's out of this world crazy. But this is a team that you're going to have to limit the guards and limit the 3-level scoring. Also, from the perimeter, this team shoots 34.5%, call it 34.5% from 3. Auburn needs to limit the shots from the perimeter, but also be able to counter. Auburn shot the 3 ball extremely well against Indiana. Can you recreate that? Can that be sustainable? Can you find that happy medium, right? That is going to be the key to success. It starts with the front court. Starts with Aiden Holloway putting up numbers like he did against Indiana, and like we know that he's capable of, not falling asleep. And I'm not accusing the kid of anything. It's just finding footing, right? And when you find footing against a team like Indiana, you're doing something right. But let's see more buckets and more performances like we saw from Denver Jones on Saturday. Trey Donaldson, although it's not going to look super flashy on the stat sheet, and he didn't have the sexiest box score in the world, Trey Donaldson played phenomenal basketball on Saturday. Can he continue with the lockdown defense and be the facilitator that we think he can be? That's going to be huge, Dylan. I'm really interested to see how Auburn handles this Asheville team. Playing on a neutral site up in Huntsville, Alabama should be fun. Should be an Auburn-packed crowd. because that's why Auburn's playing up there. So Auburn fans in Huntsville and alumni of Huntsville, namely you rocket scientists, quite literally, can go out and support the Tigers. I'm interested, Dylan. This game is one of those trap games which you lost a week ago. You lost to a fine App State team, if you will, but you're going to go up. It's not going to be a Q1 win if you can win, if you can take down Asheville. It's not going to necessarily be a Q2, but you've got to make sure that you don't overlook this one, Dylan. How does Auburn do that, and where does that start?
I think it starts on the bench. Looking at players like Chad Baker-Mazara, Trey Donaldson, Katie Johnson, Dylan Cardwell, Chaney Johnson, who also put up one of the stat lines of all time against Indiana. I don't know if you saw the box score for Chaney Johnson, but he threw up a nice quadruple zero with 4 fouls.
4 fouls.
I'm still waiting on the day that he gets allocated to this level of basketball and plays like he played it during the summer practices and the fall practices.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's just taking a while because Chad Baker-Mazara stepped onto the scene right away and started immediately playing lights out. But you can't ask that for everybody.
Yeah, but Chad Baker-Mazara is a double-edged sword.
San Diego State. He's also from San Diego State.
Yeah, but he's also a double-edged sword.
Yes.
In that CBM is a lot of fun to watch until he gets really angry and frustrated, and then it's Katie Johnson-esque.
Yeah, because I think it's Indiana was like the first time in a while I saw a game where he only had like 1 foul.
Yeah,
I was like these refs are great.
Yeah,
bring them everywhere. Looking at guys again like Katie Johnson, I'm gonna tier those two together. Katie Johnson and Chad Baker-Mazara play a good brand of basketball that does not end with stupid shots being thrown up and stupid fouls being committed. I also would love it if I saw some better free throw shooting.
Duh.
I saw a good chunk of that against Indiana, but it also helped that Janai Broome did not shoot a single one of them. Just get the ball into the hoop. Just
that
consistently.
Is some real hardcore. I mean, you're really just spitting facts right now.
I mean, Chaney Johnson and Janai Broome are averaging are shooting 50 and 51% respectively from the free throw line. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. And you're playing a Wednesday night, 7 p.m. game in Huntsville, Alabama on a neutral site against an opponent that's far inferior to what you're going to take on this upcoming Sunday. So, I mean, this screams fall asleep, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
We talk about this a lot with Jay Will finally stepping up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I would love to see a legacy game from Jalen Williams. Kind of proving to me that he can play back-to-back consistent games this season. Because it just seems like Jay Will just has not been Jay Will throughout the season, and this was the first time I watched it. I was like, oh dang. Is that Jalen?
That's Jalen Williams, right? Like that is who Jalen Williams.
Where did this come? Where did this go, and where did it come from? And if it was there all along, why wasn't it there?
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. Sustained success from Jalen Williams could be so beneficial to this team. Well, would be so beneficial to this team. So can he continue to stay locked in at that high level in terms of mental games? I think is half the battle for him because he misses a couple shots and he kind of gets into a head case. And in my opinion, that might be Jalen Williams' biggest weakness is getting to the point where you're afraid to have the ball in your hand. When you're afraid to have the ball in your hand, you don't need to be on the floor. I mean, it's that simple. Also, Janai Broome. Need to see a little more than we saw on Saturday. Obviously, Indiana got thumped and Auburn took care of business. But it is nice to see that Janai Broome doesn't have to score 30 for Auburn to do so. But at the same time, you still want your big man in 15-plus territory. And you want to make sure that he is causing other teams to foul out and get into foul trouble early. That's the big thing. And he stays out of foul trouble for that matter.
And not the opposite, I must say.
That's right.
Don't keep people in foul trouble, but keep yourself out of it, kind of deal.
The moral of the story here, Dylan, for me, and the biggest key before we give our score predictions for Auburn, I guess not but versus UNC Asheville and Huntsville. The biggest key for me is not overlooking this game. I think you kind of got caught with metaphorically your pants around your ankles in terms of that loss at App State. looking ahead at a good Indiana team and saying, we're trying to lock in for this. And this feels eerily similar in terms of you're not playing on home turf. You're not going to have the same advantage that you might at Neville Arena. And you've got, let's call a spade, LeBron James kids come to play basketball at Auburn next Sunday. And the lights are going to be bright. Everyone's going to be there. I mean, it is going to be a star-studded show in Auburn, and it's going to be a whole spectacle. Do not lose sight of the task at hand. I mean, that's just so important. So interested to see and excited to see how that one turns out, and hoping for an Auburn blowout there in terms of just, go and put your foot on the gas, never look back, never not lead the game, and kind of go from there. Let's talk a little bit about Auburn women's basketball as they take on Alabama State.
You want to give your score prediction?
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Yeah, I like Auburn 89-57, like a blowout fashion.
I like that. I like that a lot. So I was also looking at the fact that both their top scorers on UNC Asheville are shooting 40% from the 3-point line. So minimize that as much as possible, especially with the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week and SEC Player of the Week in Aiden Holloway and Jay Well. I like a nice, crisp. I don't think Auburn puts up 100, but I think they put up 90. I'm gonna give it like a nice 93-65.
I like that. Let's continue this fun having midweek, if you will, of emphatic victories for Auburn hoops, and let's talk Auburn women's basketball as they're going to play host to the struggling Alabama State Lady Hornets, 0-7 in their regular season to this point, and have given up. Well, the fewest points they've given up to this point, Dylan, was at Samford, where they only gave up 69 and lost by 22 points. Nice. And their second highest scoring performance of the year, only behind their contest at Memphis, where they scored 51. This is a struggling Alabama State team against an Auburn team that's kind of starting to pick up its identity and kind of figure out who they are. And for Alabama State, it starts with Shemaiah Ward. And let's be honest here, guys, this is just not good. When your leading scorer is a scorer. I cannot speak English. When your leading scorer is a forward who plays 24.5 minutes a game and only averages 11-3, you've got something wrong. Let's just call a spade here. 27.5% from the 3-point line. They only shoot 59.6 from the free throw line, 34% from the field, and they're turning the ball over on. I mean, they turned the ball over 26.5 times. Excuse me, they average 26.5 turnovers a game. That is unbelievably bad. I mean, that is historically bad. So I'm going to go and spoil this one. I'm picking Auburn to win this one by about 40. But Dylan, how do you take advantage of an opponent like this that really has no identity and it's kind of stumbled its way through a tough slate so far? I mean, let's look at the teams they played: Alabama, Memphis, SMU, Oklahoma, Samford, Vanderbilt, J-State. Easiest opponents, J-State to this point. I mean, like, that is also just not an easy slate, but also they stink. So how do you take advantage of this, especially being a home game, and kind of trying to figure out and feel out where you're at?
Yeah, also back-to-back winless opponents for Auburn women's basketball and Coach Jay. So a nice little 2-game stretch for them. Looking at it offensively, keep doing what you've been doing. Trust your scorers in HSG and Cindy Shaw, and maybe save some room for some other players you're kind of looking around trying to get them on the scoreboard some more, like Taylor Collins, Savannah Scott. This be a nice little Marshawn Bostic game as well. Just get the team involved. I want this to be a game where you can look up and see Carson McFadden throwing up threes. That's what I want to see from this game. I want to see the bench get cleared, because yes, Auburn has found an identity. Yes, they're playing very well at this point of the year. But SEC play is right around the corner, and I believe their first game is a punch in the mouth with the Lady Volunteers. If I'm not mistaken,
it is.
This is going to be a good game for you to kind of calm down. I don't think you just absolutely kill them. It would be nice if you did, but also kind of find your groove, find your consistencies, and find what you need to work on some more before you wake up and have to play Tennessee.
And use this as a different faces, different places game, right?
Exactly.
Try to plug in new rotations, see what you can implement here and what works successfully. So, I mean, I'm not going to say this is a layup win, because there's no such thing as that in college basketball. But a game that you should win handedly, take advantage of that and let all of your team kind of figure out how to play give them another opportunity 10 games into the season to, hey, there are situations where so-and-so might get hurt. Someone might get hurt and you have to step up in this role. How can you perform? How do you respond? That is how you look at this game. As we kind of round things out with general Auburn news, Kyla Swanson's headed to the Professional Volleyball Federation, to play with the Omaha Supernovas, which is a freaking awesome team name, by the way. That gives Seattle Supersonics energy.
Honestly, I didn't know until Auburn Volleyball posted that there was actually professional volleyball.
There is
league. I did not know that until earlier today.
Right. And Auburn Gymnastics, it's sort of meet week. And by sort of, I mean the exhibition meet is this Friday. So make sure you head to Neville Arena. And
it's 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, and admission is free.
So good opportunity to go check out and see what Auburn Gymnastics is going to be all about this year. And spoiler alert, they're going to be absolutely disgustingly good. So just go ahead and lock in, get the vibes ready, warm up the shaker wrist flick. You know what I mean? Go get it warmed up and enjoy some free gymnastics on Friday night in Auburn, Alabama. Dylan, that's all we got for the College Loop podcast today. So before we get out of here, I want to remind everybody, if you want to purchase your very own College Loop War Report Podcast Network co-branded Feeling Loopy t-shirt that comes in 5 different colorways, you can pick that up at www.thewarreport.com, or you can just go straight to the link in any of the descriptions of our shows. Pick up your very own Feeling Loopy College Loop War Report co-branded t-shirt. $25, 5 different colorways, like I said. And once you pick up the shirt, use hashtag Feeling Loopy, feeling without the G, on whatever social media platform makes you happy, whether that be the Bird app, Instagram, Facebook, whatever makes you happy, and tag us in it. Use the hashtag, and we'll make sure we throw it up on the next stream. Also, to continue supporting the College Loop podcast, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell right here on the College Loop YouTube channel if you're hanging out with us on the YouTube stream. Subscribing costs you nothing. Hitting the bell, make sure you stay up to date. It'll notify you when we're live on the air. And you guys can make sure you're always up to date with everything going on here at the College Loop podcast. Want to push for 800? I know we just got to 700, but we are greedy. You guys are the best. We want to continue to grow this family, so help us get to 800. Drop a comment down in the below on literally anything you're talking about. Give us your score predictions for Auburn versus UNC Asheville on Wednesday evening. Give us your score predictions on that. We'll be recording this show, I'm sure, after the game. So looking forward to that late night record, since it is an 8 p.m. Eastern time tip off. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Sure, I'll be in a great mood for that one. Anyways, I'm Harrison Tarr, by Harrison Tarr, the Bird app, and on Instagram if you guys want to come hang out and give me all your hot takes, cold takes, whatever makes you feel happy inside. Would love to hear from all you guys. You guys are the best in the world. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Enjoy the midweek slate of basketball. And make sure, as you're traveling to see family throughout the holiday season, you guys are staying safe. Dylan, let's get out of here.
Of course, I'm Dylan Larck, able to tank on Twitter/access at YABOY the tank. Also hit me on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck at DYLANLARCK. And of course, you can also find me right here on the College Loop. We should like, comment, subscribe. As Tar said, leave your predictions for those games. Leave your thoughts on who's going to win the quarterback battle in 2024, whether it be a transport quarterback, Peyton Thorne, or Walker White. And of course, leave your Auburn wish list of who you're wanting to sign the most on early signing day, and just again 8 days on the 20th. And of course, you can put all of them. Why not? All of the top 100 recruits. Why not? Let's get it. Everybody, come on down. Everyone except your walk-on position. But again, if you're tired of seeing our faces, completely understand it. You can listen to us. You have us on Spotify, Podcast, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And of course, you also have us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works. Go click the bells on all of those, because again, on the 20th, you're going to see a very, very broken version of me on that episode of the next week, as I would have been staring at my phone and my laptop for probably 12 combined hours, just looking around at who Auburn's going to sign next. But of course, all of that being said, this has been the College Loop podcast.
Love you guys.
There it is.